Chukfi Rabbit's Big Bad Bellyache, a Choctaw Trickster Tale. Told by Greg Rogers. Illustrated by Leslie Stahl Widener. Note to the reader. You're about to learn some new names for some old, familiar animals. The people who told this story a long time ago were Choctaw, and so they used the Choctaw words for rabbit, fox, bear, turtle, beaver, and possum, like this: Chukfi, Chula, Nitta, Luxi, Kinta, and Shukata. But they were people just like you and me, and so sometimes they used the Choctaw word, and sometimes they used the English name, and sometimes they used them both together, just like I'm going to do in Chukfi Rabbit's Big Bad Bellyache. Maybe by the time you're finished with this story, you'll know the new names too. Down here in Choctaw Country, most folks will tell you that Chukfi Rabbit is lazy. And then they'll say, "And watch your food when Chukfi Rabbit is around. Blink once and it'll all be gone." Like that one time, long ago. Miss Shukata Possum needed a new house. Several of her friends agreed on an everybody work together day to build her one. All except Chukfi Rabbit, that is. "Chukfi, would you like to help build me a house?" asked Miss Possum. Chula Fox, Nitta Bear, and Luxi Turtle, and Kinta Beaver will all be there. "Oh, I'm just so sorry," said Chukfi Rabbit. "I'm much, much too busy on that day." "But I didn't even say which day." "Oh, which day?" asked Chukfi. "Tomorrow." Yep, much, much too busy tomorrow. So sorry." "Oh, that's too bad," said Miss Shukata. "I'm making dinner with fresh, homemade butter for everyone who helps." "Oh, wait," said Chukfi. "I just remembered. It's the next day that I'm too busy. Tomorrow I can most certainly be there." Well, that's just how Chukfi Rabbit is. Early the next morning, everyone showed up at Miss Possum's place. She had made cornbread biscuits, grape dumplings, tanchi labana, which is a Choctaw kind of corn stew, and best of all, lots and lots of homemade butter. It was creamy and delicious and hard to make, a real treat. But all the food would have to wait for dinner, after the work was done. When the working started, Kinta did the sawing. Chula did the digging for the corner posts. Miss Shukata did the sweeping, while Nitta Bear and Luxi Turtle did the hammering. Since they didn't really have hammers back in those days, Luxi kindly agreed to be the hammer. And Rabbit? Well, as usual, Chukfi had disappeared. Chula Fox called out, "Chukfi, where are you?" From behind a pile of rocks, Rabbit answered, "Over here." "Why aren't you working?" asked Chula. "I'm sick," said Chukfi. "I have a fever, but I think it will pass soon enough. And then I'll be ready to work." But this wasn't true at all. Rabbit wasn't sick. He was just hiding. When no one was watching, Chukfi snuck down to the cold water spring where the food was kept, and he took the tub of homemade butter. He carried it back to his hiding spot behind the rocks. Chukfi could hear the sawing and the hammering. He heard Miss Possum's sweeping and Chula Fox's digging. "This working and building could take all day," he said to himself. Chukfi took the lid off the tub of butter. It was full. He didn't want to wait for supper. He wanted to taste it right now. So he licked the top of the thick, creamy spread. Once again, Chula called out, "Is your fever gone yet?" Rabbit ran his tongue along his buttery lips. "Just starting," he said. This was sort of the truth. Not about his fever, but he had just started eating the butter. It was so good. Just one more taste, he told himself. They'll never even notice. Then another and another. He slid his paw deep into the butter and ate whole pawfuls at a time. After a while, Chula Fox came out again. "How about now? Has your fever run its course?" Chukfi looked at the tub of butter. "About halfway," he answered. The sun moved across the sky overhead. By the middle of the afternoon, Rabbit had still not started working. "How's your fever now?" hollered Chula. "Almost gone," said Chukfi. Yep, that's right. The tub was nearly empty. He scraped the last bit of butter from the bowl and slipped it into his mouth. He lay back against the rocks, his belly full. When he could move again, he snuck down to the spring and returned the empty tub. As the sun started down for the end of the day, Rabbit appeared from behind the rocks. "Okay," he said, "I'm ready to work." But it was too late. Miss Chukata's possum's new house was finished. "Oh, I'm so sad," said Chukfi. "I missed all the work." "That's okay," said Miss Chukata. "At least you're feeling better. Now let's eat." Miss Possum spread out the food. When she opened the lid to the big tub of butter, she gasped. "Someone ate it all," she said, showing everyone the empty tub. "It wasn't me," said Chukfi. "I was sick all day." They all nodded. "That's true," said Nita Bear. "But who?" "It could have been any of you," said Chula Fox. "All of us went down to the water to get a drink. Any one of you could have eaten the butter." "Not me," said Nita Bear, Looksy Turtle, and Kinta Beaver at the same time. "Well," said Miss Chukata, "let's just eat all this other food, and I'll make some more butter another time." And they did. Eat, that is. They munched the cornbread biscuits. They slurped the tanchy labana. And then they smacked on the grape dumplings. Chukfi didn't want the others to know that he was already full. So even though his belly was great big stuffed, he ate everything Miss Chukata gave him. After the meal, they all lay down for a nap. While the others slept, Chukfi saw a little bit of butter still on the fur of his paw. He rubbed it gently on Nita Bear's big nose. Then he licked his paws clean and lay down too. When the others woke, Chukfi said, "Why don't we check everybody's nose? Whoever ate the butter might still have some left there." One by one, Chula Fox examined their noses. "Kinta, your nose is clean. Looksy, your nose is kind of dirty, though certainly not buttery. But Nita Bear, your nose looks awful shiny and greasy." Nita licked her nose. "It does taste like butter, but I didn't eat it." Poor Nita. Nobody believed her, and they were mad. They pointed their fingers, paws, and claws at her. "You ate the butter," they shouted. Chukfi had such a hard time not laughing. To him, this was so funny. Then His telltale belly began to shake and tremble. His tummy rumbled, and before he could even get his paw up to cover his mouth, which is, of course, always good manners, he let out a great big "Brrrp." "Oh," he said quickly, "excuse me." But it was too late. The others had already smelled Chukfi's big, bad butter breath. "It was you!" they all shouted. "Not Nitta! You ate all the butter." "Let's get him," growled Nitta Bear. Chukfi tried to hop away, but his belly was too full. He was too heavy. He tripped over his own floppy feet and rolled down the hill, all the way to the river. Splash! But because butter is lighter than water, Chukfi floated downstream and away from the others. Chukfi escaped, this time, and maybe, just maybe, he learned a lesson. Then again, probably not. But for the next 4 weeks, Chukfi Rabbit did have one really, really big, bad bellyache. So it was that on this particular everybody worked together day, nobody but Chukfi Rabbit got any butter. Well, maybe Nitta Bear if you count that one little lick on her nose. But Miss Chukita did get a nice new house, and everybody did feel real happy about that, as helping others is always more joyful than even the best butter ever.